Alright. The time has come. We are a little late, but that's okay. So tonight, we are not playing a game tonight. We are going to do a little bit of behind the scenes and or community involvement, because we are open to suggestions, but this is the upcoming plan for the next year, which is that as I will be turning 40, we will be doing 40 years of gaming on stream, where we're going to take whatever we can from each individual release year. Zoom in this a little bit, so it's more readable for anyone. And every week we're going to pick a couple titles, and that's what we're going to play. So we're going to progress through 40 years worth of gaming. Well, technically 41, because we're going from 86 to 26 inclusive. So 41. And tonight is where we go through old awards, top lists, most influential lists, everything of that nature. And we're going to try to find the best stuff to put on this list. Now, you can see that we've got a lot of things already on the list here. The full list is in Discord, but here we are. And it is time to get started. Now, there's a couple things I want to look through, because obviously my own memory is not going to be the end-all be-all of this, especially if I plan to, catch some games that maybe I missed along the way. So, as you can see in the tab behind, we've got a couple different articles on like the most important, most influential games, best games, and various awards, and so on and so forth. And at some point we will probably go and dig through the actual just show me all PC games released in a certain year, and we'll see if anything catches our eye. So, yeah. So without further ado, I guess we'll start with PC Gamer and see how much of this we care to add. Alright, and unfortunately, they have made their page basically readable on mobile, and that is it, by having all this blank space on the sides, so we get to zoom in a bit. And it doesn't even let us scroll sideways for it. Okay, we will fix it by doing... Come on, there we go. Okay, so, table of contents. We want to start here, because while this will contain things like Pong and things of that nature, we are not going quite that far back. So, we're going to jump to page 2. Wizardry, a little bit too outside of our range. We are starting in 86. Alright, that's 83. King's Quest. We do have various King's Quest games in our lists that we may pop into. This is 84, so we're not going to be doing that one. That's a little before where we're looking for. Here, let's do this. There we go. I would prefer to have it in dark mode, but it was just like, I don't want to be in dark mode. It's like, fine. So, Ultima 4, that's a little bit too early, but Ultima is also something I should probably hit at some point, because I don't think I've ever played any of the Ultima games. Alright, SimCity 86, 89. Now, that is possible. I have SimCity 2000 on the list over here as a potential thing. So we might do that instead of the original SimCity. But we definitely need to do something in that series, because it's highly influential. Alright, that brings us through the 80s. As you can see, we're a little thin on 86 specifically, so we'll see if we can find something here. Commander Keen. What is this advertisement? Okay. I mean, I guess it doesn't know what to show me because I'm just like, no, we're doing this in incognito mode. So it's just like, everyone wears underwear. Right, so Commander Keen. That's a possible one that we should maybe write down. Monkey Island. Monkey Island was also in 1990. So this is a little bit less well known when I saw it on Good Old Games, and I saw it on Good Old Games and thought, maybe we do that. So So yeah, we're going to write that down as a potential one. The Secret of Monkey Island. And move on. Now, some of this is going to be contingent on me being able to find them. But I'm pretty sure we can find that. Civilization in 91. So, the problem is I've tried Civ games before, and for some reason I never liked the general flow of them, so there's that. Oh yes, Dune 2. We should put this on the list. As a potential thing for 92. Okay, then we have Ultima Underworld. Now, you'll see that what we already have in 92 over here is Wolfenstein 3D. If you're not familiar with Wolfenstein 3D, this was the predecessor to Doom. It came out the year before Doom by the same studio as Doom. So it's gonna look very, very similar to Doom, but it predates it. And it's not as well known, but it is something I played growing up. So it has a more, we'll say, nostalgia value for me than Doom does, because I did not play Doom growing up. But I don't know if I'm gonna hit Ultima Underworld. Oh, and there it is, Wolfenstein 3D. It's on the list. It made the list. So what else is here? Myst. I don't want to mess with Myst. I know that the like, by all accounts, it was groundbreaking and also a giant pain. Yes. Yeah. No. We're not gonna touch Myst. Frontier, what is this? I don't even recognize this. Frontier Elite 2. I'm not even sure what genre it is from this. Okay, let's... Is it a space sim? What is it? Space Trading and Combat Simulator. Interesting. So it's a space sim and trading game. We'll add it to the list as something that we can potentially look at. That's in 9... Ooh. It's got a lot of competition here in 93. XCOM, Mortal Kombat, which was on on PC in 93. Master of Orion. We'll add it to the list of things to potentially look at, but it's gonna be rough to try to include it. Hey, this looks familiar. Doom. Yeah. Doom is... It is hard to overstate how big Doom is / was. But, you know, it's something that I don't have a lot of nostalgia for, but I need to write it down, essentially. It needs to be on the list, at least for consideration, just because of how important it was. Wing Commander 3. Interesting. What? Unlike most... Alright, so we have FMV, Space Opera. Dogfighting sim. Okay. Let's have a look-see. Alright, this was 94? What do we have? We have this one that I've never heard of, but that seemed funny. So they can't all be hits. But I wanted to do one of the X-Wing games, but I don't remember which one I played is the thing, because I was a kid and I wasn't paying attention. And there are a lot of like X-Wing and TIE Fighter games that came out close to each other within these years. So I think we're gonna skip on Wing Commander probably. XCOM UFO Defense. Didn't I have XCOM written down here? In 93. UFO Enemy Unknown, XCOM UFO Defense. I hate ads with fake close things. So not Twitter. XCOM game. Thank you. XCOM. Oh, why does it say... Why do I have it down as 93 then? Okay. I guess I had the wrong release year for this. So we might put XCOM there in 94. Good. And what else do we have? Quake. Ooh. I did not remember to put Quake down. We want to put Quake down in 96? 96 has a lot of competition. 96 has Diablo, Resident Evil, and The Legacy of Kain already there. I don't know if I can squeeze Quake in. Or Tomb Raider, for that matter. Nope, there's Diablo, 98, yes. Ultima Online. I don't think we're going to be doing Ultima Online, because online. Half-Life. I have that written down here, don't I? Yeah. Sanitarium. I think I can boot Sanitarium. I've got enough point-and-click stuff here already, probably. So, Let's get the dash in there. Respect the spelling. Alright, so we have Half-Life, we have Return to Krondor, and we have Fallout 2. The problem with something like Fallout 2 is that, well, Fallout and other RPG things might not lend themselves well to this format, where they're only really gonna get, like, one stream, like, a day. Half-Life, I can at least make progress in a day. StarCraft, Brood War, 98. I do have a dearth of RTS in here. Like, we put down Dune 2 for very, very early ones. However, it's a bit of a problem in that I don't know where to acquire that. I'll be checking Good Old Games at some point for some of these. Actually, I can check that now. No, Good Old Games does not have Dune 2. So we might not be able to get that. So we might want to take a look at StarCraft. Brood War. So that's an important one to keep into account. Star Siege Tribes. I think I've only heard about Tribes 2 as a thing. PlanetSide. Okay, so this was online only, so we're not going to be doing that. Thief, The Dark Project. Okay. Thief is a good call-out. But we've already got so much. If we do Fallout here, then we don't need Fallout 2. I spelled thief wrong. I before E, except after C. There we go. So I haven't played Thief before, but it's one of those that's got enough history to it that you really should want to play it. Okay, Baldur's Gate, the original one, in 98. Again, 98 is a packed year, so we're just going to have to drop Baldur's Gate, because we have so many other examples of RPGs, even if they're not Baldur's Gate. EverQuest, not going to be doing EverQuest. Counter-Strike, not going to be doing Counter-Strike. Or any competitive shooters, really. System Shock 2, 1999. We'll write it down, because I tried playing System Shock 2 at one point, because, like, I own it, I have it through Good Old Games. I just couldn't get it to, like, couldn't get into it, I should say. Like, the game appeared to function right, but it's just, it didn't have a problem. Or I didn't really click with me when I tried it before, but we can definitely try it again. Quake 3 Arena, again, no. The Sims, no. Incredibly influential, The Sims, in the year 2000, but, you know. Deus Ex. Deus Ex. That's the year 2000. We might definitely want to check that out. I don't know how good it is as a one-stream game, which is the problem of a lot of these things that are really well known, particularly for like setting and for plot. It's like, am I even going to get there? Medal of Honor. Morrowind was in 2002. Don't know if we're going to do that one. There's only so many mud crabs I can kill. Battlefield 1942, but that is Battlefield's most well known for its large multiplayer things, and well, we're not doing large multiplayer things. Dota, no, not playing Dota. EVE Online, again, highly influential, not playing it on stream. I did try EVE Online fairly briefly. I won't say recently, but when it was already old. So we'll say within the last like 5 years or so. The problem I ran into is that you can't even do the tutorial. Like, you get started a little bit, you fly around a little bit, and the tutorial mission's like, okay, now, here's how you go mine an asteroid. Go mine an asteroid. And I go out, and there are no asteroids. And I eventually am like, okay, am I doing something wrong? And then I look up online, and it's just like, no, there are no asteroids anywhere safe. All of the asteroids in any of the safe areas of space are essentially immediately mined automatically by automated miners as soon as they spawn. So, as a new player, and not someone with, like, a friend getting into it, it's just like, well, so what am I doing then? Like, okay, so you go in, and here's how you gather your basic resources, and it's like, okay, sorry, all of the existing players who are way ahead of you already have all of the basic resources on lock. Oh well. Sucks to be you. Second Life, no. Again with the 2 online bit. Half-Life 2, 2004. World of Warcraft. I have it on the list. I don't know if we're going to play it, because my account's not active and hasn't been for quite some time now, but, you know, it happens. Dwarf Fortress. Interesting. I don't have anything in 2006, except for Oblivion. So... yeah. We might try that out, although, from what I understand of the learning curve, trying to just play Dwarf Fortress, like, once, without heavy research, means I'm probably just going to be flailing around and dying. But from what I understand of Dwarf Fortress, the mantra is supposed to be that losing is fun. So, we'll write that down. Team Fortress 2. Okay. Spelunky, 2008. I'll write that down. That is one I've actually played. As well as being one of the first games to establish roguelikes as a thing. Excuse you? Excuse you. In 2008. One of the first games to make roguelikes a thing. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is just factually incorrect. Spelunky is the reason I'm a developer. Okay, cool, you have nostalgia for it. This is just factually incorrect. Well, maybe it's a popularized, or it's like when whoever wrote this article was first made aware of them, but also Minecraft, we're not playing Minecraft. It's just like, no. League of Legends, you know, I'm gonna write it down. Chances, like, I've done a League stream before, I've done them occasionally. I don't know if they really fit the mood. Not to mention, modern League, here like 17 years later, isn't really the same. It's come a long way. Broken Age? Change the way games can be financed. Just Double Fine Adventure? Okay, so this is culturally significant in that it's one of the first big successful Kickstarters. Interesting. I'll write it down. 2014. Where would I even get it? Broken Age. Alright, it's on Good Old Games. So I could grab it there. Or it's probably on Steam too. Since it's in 2014. Honorable mentions? Okay. Microsoft Flight Simulator. Interesting. Mule. Wasteland. Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia is a good shout out. Another World. Outcast. America's Army. UT 2K4. Do we have much in 2K4? We do. We're gonna write that down anyway. Crisis. Mass Effect. Mass Effect was 2007. I've already got Bioshock and Portal in those slots, so it's going to be hard to uproot. Skyrim in 2011. Dark Souls. We should put Dark Souls here. Kerbal Space Program. Okay. We have gathered what we can from... Is this just a forum post linking to the article we were just on? Homeworld. Homeworld is a good shout out. I don't know if I can get the original though. I think whoever had the rights did a remake that got really criticized, and you can't get the original anymore. Yeah, there's like a Homeworld Remastered collection. But I don't know if I want a remaster. Also, it's priced like a modern day full video game. It's listed at $35 for the remastered version. This game is a lie. You should know that all mechanics from the original game are not working. The graphics are okay, but it's very easy to play now. Formations do not work as they should. If you love to catch enemy ships with your corvettes, forget it now. You can only build 14 ships of those, and you have to catch every enemy ship single. It does not work like in the original games. But if you're not an old fan who played it when it first released, maybe you can have fun with this version. I was told before release of the remastered version that they will make it like the original. Okay, so it's not actually a remaster, it is a remake then, in that they changed it mechanically. Which means I don't want to bother with it, especially if I'm trying to go for historical reasons. Alright. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So it's a Yakuza game. It's 2024. No. Inscription. I'm surprised Inscription made the list. I didn't think it was good. I think it sacrificed gameplay quality for vibes. So inventive, so unexpected. No. I found it just not that good, like, from a design perspective. Like, the vibes, immaculate. It did a really good job with its setting, with its overall feeling, everything of that nature, but the actual, like, card game mechanics, super swingy. And I know I've had people in chat, or no, it was a Discord discussion, it's just like, who are big fans of the game, essentially tell me, like, skill issue, or like, you can work around it, or you can ignore that mechanic entirely. It's like, oh, so your answer to the resource system is broken and badly made is, well, if you ignore that entire part of it, then, like, yeah, that's not a good argument. Like, well, if you have to ignore, it's like, it's not that bad if you just ignore how broken this part is. It's like, oh, wow, What is this? House of the Dying Sun. Space combat game in the mode of Wing Commander. X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. Played on a gamepad. Actually, we're gonna zoom in a little bit because this text is probably too small. Why does it keep zooming out when I zoom in too much? Okay. There we go. More readable. If you have a VR headset, no. I mean, I'm gonna write it down because I don't have anything in 2016 yet. Also, anything later on here, it's like, I've got 6 months to get to that. Because 41 weeks is, in fact, 80% of a year, because there are 52 weeks in a year. So, anything in this, like, second half, that's months and months away. So I've got lots of time to revise the later parts of the list. Dragon's Dogma. This is a lot of very recent games, 2024. Devotion? Is remembered for being hounded off the internet by Chinese bigwigs over an in-game reference to a meme about Xi Jinping resembling Winnie the Pooh. It is, however, horror, and horror is not really our genre, so we're going to ignore that for now. DayZ, no. Wreckfest, no. Dyson Sphere program, what is this? Such an ambitious idea for a game. A factory building game set on an actual spherical planet. That's not what a Dyson Sphere is. Not just one planet, but dozens of planets across multiple star systems, all entirely traversable. Interesting. I don't think I have any, like, management game sorts of things. So we're gonna pencil this in for 2021. Battletech came out in 2018. Turn-based tactical games with capitalism. Interesting. What do I have in 2018 so far? Nothing. So since I have nothing, we'll pencil it in. Full Throttle? Interesting. Grim Fandango. Alright, so it's the same person who did Grim Fandango. Okay. $95, though. 95... I already have SimCity 2000, and I have no mouth and I must scream. I don't know if I have another adventure game slot, especially in that time period. I'm not going to do Deep Rock Galactic, it's too multiplayer-y. Stray? I heard good things about Stray. So we'll pencil it in there. Return of the Obra Djinn. Okay, alright. What do I have in 2018 so far? Just Battletech. Okay. Where is the button to reset? No, 2. Plants vs. Zombies. You know, I don't have any tower defense on the list. But it's going up against some other heavyweights, so we're just gonna ignore it for now. Pentiment, I haven't heard of this one. An adventure game. I've already got so many adventure games, even though this does stand out as being a very much more recent one. Gorogoa, which is a 2017 puzzle game. The best thing about writing up Gorogoa for this list is that I have sort of forgotten about Gorogoa and can go discover it again. Here's what I remember. You're trying to assemble mundane things in places into an image of the divine. The game takes place in hand-drawn worlds of castles and staircases, orchards and towers. That sounds very appealing. The question is, where is it? Oh. Even on sale. Neat. Conquests of the Longbow. In 91? I mean, I think I have a space in 91. It's a point-and-click adventure. Into the Breach. Turn-based tactics game. This is 2018. Stanley Parable. I think I wrote this down for 2013, right? Yeah, there it is. Alright, so there's Peggle. We're going to skip that. Arc Raiders. Really making the list already? Best games of all time, and it's just only been out, what? A couple months? Heroine's Quest, The Herald of Ragnarok. In 2014. That doesn't look like 2014, but yes. Interesting. 2014. Blue Prince. I've heard good things about it. It is very recent, but we're going to have to do recent stuff eventually. Subnautica is a survival game. I don't vibe with survival games in general. Sid Meier's Pirates. Hold up a sec. Didn't that come out in 87? So this is a remake 17 years later? Racing game. QWOP. QWOP is certainly influential. Genre, walking simulator. Indeed it is. Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. I have that written down, don't I? No, I have Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Apparently this one is better than the other one, but yeah. Space Quest in 91. We'll write that down just in case. Pyre. Ooh. Is the most easily forgotten of Supergiant's creations. It certainly is. Bastion, Transistor, Hades, they all stand out over Pyre. Because quite simply, they are better. Pyre is a little bit weird compared to those, but you know. Ooh, 2013 Papers, please. Never played it, heard good things. We're adding it to the list. Automobilista. Racing Sim. Transistor is 2014. I'm adding it to the list just in case, but because it's incredibly good, but I don't know if it's going to win. Secret of Monkey Island is 1990. Yeah, there it is. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, 99. Oh, sorry. I have Blood Omen Legacy of Kain in 96. But it's the same year as System Shock 2 as well. Okay. We'll add it to the list just in case. Just in case. Skyrim. Probably not. I think I have it written down. Nah. Control. In 2019. In the early 90s, before forming Remedy Entertainment, the founders were heavily involved in demo scene and art movement that used computer hardware to create impossible spaces. It's easy to trace a through line from those days to Control, the studio's weird, fiction-inflected shooter set in an impossible-to-map brutalist office block. But following that thread would make for a very dry way of talking about a third-person shooter where you hover in the air and use your mind powers to fling bits of masonry at your enemies. Huh. Plays Jesse Fadden, newly appointed director of the Federal Bureau of Control, an organization that investigates the strange goings-on in our world. X-Files Men in Black, obviously. Unfortunately for you, your offices have been overrun by an otherworldly being called The Hiss. While the very silly main story is told seriously, it's a great backdrop for superpowered gunfights in rooms filled with office furniture that explodes into clouds of dust and printer paper. Sure. We'll give it a look. As I said, basically everything in the last 20 years, because we're doing 40 years of things, is going to be in the second half of this run, which means I have months still to figure it out. But this seems interesting. Horizon Zero Dawn was 2024. We have already played this on stream, actually. But I didn't realize it was that new, actually. I could have sworn it was released before then, because I played this like over a year ago, which would mean I played it in the same year it came out, which is super uncommon. Dishonored 2. What is... Yeah. Immersive sim is an ancient... Huh. Interesting. I'll add it to the list, because I don't have anything else in 2016 right now. But we'll find out. Road Warden? I don't think I've heard of this one before. Text-based RPG released in 2022? Really? It's more than an RPG. It takes plentiful cues from visual novels, choose-your-own adventure books, and tabletop games. Alright. Save for Disco Elysium, I've yet to play an RPG that manages this level of life and nuance, which slowly inculcates such an ethic of responsibility. Huh. When did it come out? 2022? We'll look into it more later. The Cycle Frontier. It's a competitive shoot. It's an extraction shooter. No. Release 2022. Shut down 2023. Satisfactory really only came out in 2024. Again, I thought it was at least a year or two older than that. Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. Okay. 2003, you say? KOTOR is the only one I have here. Alright. Yeah, we can go with that. We don't have any Prince of Persia titles on this list yet, and with 40 years of gaming, I feel like we should have at least one. Atom Zombie Smasher. In 2011. There are a lot of zombie games where you play a survival in the aftermath of an outbreak. Atom Zombie Smasher puts you in obliquely utilitarian shoes of someone managing the defense. You will very rarely kill all the zombies attacking, and you will almost never finish a level having saved every civilian. So any day you extract more people than the number that fall to the dead is a win. When that becomes the equation, you begin to make horrible choices. Civilians are spread across the city and can only send one helicopter at a time. So in designating a landing zone, you are making a choice of who to save and who to leave behind. When you place barricades, it locks civilians on the other side. A single undead can turn an entire crowd of survivors, so when you use dynamite to blow up the advancing undead, you wait until they're clear, a delay that risks a zombie getting through. Interesting. I will add it to the list. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I don't have any Assassin's Creed games in here, so maybe... it's worth it, because I've heard really good things about Black Flag. Black Flag is a very good pirate game with a pretty good Assassin's Creed game strapped to it. Probably between... right. That's also what I've heard. Rescue in 93. What do we already have? 93 is already packed. We've got Doom, we've got Master of Orion, we've got Mortal Kombat. I don't think I've got space for whatever this rescue game is. Orcs Must Die is a competitive tower defense, released and then shut down. So we can skip that one easily. Oh, Final Fantasy Tactics. Oh, The Evilist Chronicle. So it's just like, hold up a sec. Released 2025? What do you mean Final Fantasy Tactics released 2025? It's like, I played this in high school, and I was not in high school in 2025. For years, the most playable version of FF Tactics was limited to the PSP's War of the Lions 2007 re-release. That's right, the 2007 re-release, as in the original Final Fantasy Tactics was much older than that. Deus Ex I already have written down here. Resident Evil Remake? No. We do have Resident Evil in here, but it's the original back in 94, I want to say? 96. Minecraft, again, we mentioned not doing that. King's Quest 6 is the one I would be most likely to play. Unfortunately, King's Quest 6... Oh, never mind. 92. Yeah, we've got space there. This is the one I remember playing the most growing up. Dwarf Fortress, we already wrote that down. Race Driver Grid. Homeworld Cataclysm. Nowadays known as Emergence, is about the other guys. So, I could only find the... Alright, so... What is Homeworld Emergence? Or Cataclysm. Interesting. Okay, so Homeworld is released in the year 2000. So maybe this is the Homeworld that we go for. Wait a second. According to the... Oh, that's weird. So according to the Good Old Game thing, the reason for the rename for this is Cataclysm is now a registered trademark of Blizzard Entertainment. Interesting. Now, with how trademarks work, they only have a trademark on that word as it relates to video games. Like, you're not gonna see them going after a restaurant calling itself Cataclysm, because that's not how trademarks work. That said, it is time for ads. We have been looking at old video games and what we want to play this upcoming year for like an hour now. So we're going to take a second to grab a snack and stretch and drink, and we'll be back in 3 minutes. we've returned. And we shall be going through more of the best games. So we're going to write down Homeworld Cataclysm, although it's Emergence, because, as we mentioned, Cataclysm is Blizzard's now, as far as games are concerned. Okay. Trackmania. Oh, I know Trackmania from skipping over things in my shorts feed of random voiceover thing. Like, there's a voiceover reading a story that was read by someone else. It's like, someone wrote a story, or an AI did, and then someone put a voiceover to it, and then someone put the voiceover to it in a short with Trackmania stuff playing in the background. And it's just, like, the most derivative, dumb thing possible. So, that is my experience with Trackmania. Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Fathers. Ooh. I have that one, but that's 93. 93's got way too much competition here. Between all the other stuff. Yeah, sorry, Gabriel. I even have that in my backlog, too. Just Cause. Ooh. I have not played any of the Just Cause games, so it might be worth taking a look. Grappling Hook and Wingsuit. Yeah, I've heard great things about the just general gameplay flow and movement in the game. Right, Portal 2 is 2011. We already have Portal on this list in 2007. Actually, you know, let's do this. No, I want to... Make it a little bit easier to skip. Okay, there we go. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, Portal 2, 2011. Very good game. It's been a while since I played it, so by the time we get to 2011 in this year, we might be good to go. Undertale 2015. You already have it down. Extraction shooter. Chrono Trigger definitely didn't come out in 2018. '95. Problem is that it was a Super Nintendo title, so I don't think we're going to be able to play it, but I'm writing it down anyway. The version available there is based off of the Nintendo DS release in 2008. Dawn of War 2. Since the days of Dune 2, you've been able to squeeze more out of your units in RTS games by taking direct control of their movements and abilities, so-called micro, as opposed to macro, which is your general economy stuff. Manually plotting the waypoints of a flanking route instead of relying on the game's more direct automatic pathing. or changing units formation to perfect counter. I default to building the biggest, most varied army I can and flinging it at the enemy. I'll make a token nod to tactics by putting a line of toughs in front of my ranged units, but that's it. Unless you're playing Dawn of War 2. Dropping the base building of its predecessor. Interesting. It's in 2009? No. Oh, you know what? I've heard good things about the Titanfall series, but I've never played it. So this is 2016? Titanfall is the only RPS 100 game I can win myself. Rocket Shotgun 100, okay? To be cross about. Is it supposed to be multiplayer? Ooh, Legend of Mana. Again? There we go. Originally released for PS1 in 1999. I did play that. I don't think I'm going to add it to the list to play this year, though. Hard Space Shipbreaker. Genre: Spaceship Scrapping Simulator. Sure, that's oddly specific. Okay, this looks interesting. I'll add it in 2022. Unfortunately, there appear to be a lot of good things in 2022. Hardship Spacebreaker? Hard Space Shipbreaker. I flipped it around. Hard Space Shipbreaker. There we go. Exile. Exile made the list? It's not very well known. But I should probably play one of the Exile games at least. This was 95? Alright. We don't have much in 90s. Well, there's Fallout. Exile game series. Spiderweb. Exile 1 Escape from the Pit. Exile 2 Crystal Souls was in 96. Exile 3 is 97. Oh, sorry, no, that's Exile 3 is Ruined World, not Crystal Souls. Okay. Grand Theft Auto, probably not. Rocket League, no. Oh, what is this? Genre: Hotel for the Brain. They're just, like... They're just saying things for genre. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. They're just saying stuff. The image is hotel to the brain. Okay. It isn't a video game, but a holiday from video games? I'm just gonna not. Burnout Paradise, no. Quest for Glory. Quest for Glory might be a good shout out. Video game series. What are the releases? Original in 1989, remake in 92. Quest for Glory 2 is the only game in the series not to have originated or been remade beyond the EGA graphics engine by Sierra. Huh. Quest for Glory 3 is 92. Quest for Glory 2 is 1990. Quest for Glory 1 is 89. This is 93 or 94, depending on where I want to stick it. Looks like no for Quest of Glory. Well, Shadows of Darkness. Yeah. And this was 98. Yeah, we're gonna ignore that one. So, Hitman, World of Assassination. Genre, murder 'em up. Yeah. Dota 2, no. TF2, also no. Super Hexagon in 2012. Okay, so okay, yeah. Sonic Mania is every Mega Drive Sonic game restored or transmuted with a kind of... Okay. So retro mean... Okay. Huh. So, I don't want to put something from 2017 for our 40 years history of gaming that is a remake of stuff that came out in the 90s. Well, the 90s stuff in the 90s. We're also not going to do Factorio. We're not going to do Baldur's Gate 3. I've done it before. The problem with Baldur's Gate 3 is doing one stream of Baldur's Gate 3 feels kind of weird. But we'll write it down, just to keep track of which year it came out. Metal Gear Solid, year 2000, exactly. Oh, there's so much in the year 2000. BioShock I already have that written down, right? Yep. Hollow Knight. Silksong specifically. Not the original Hollow Knight, but Silksong that came out last year. Dark Souls 2011. I have that written down, yes? I have it written down as 2012. When did Dark Souls come out again? This says 2011. Why do I have it under 2012? Was it the PC port that came out in 2012? Ah, I see. Which means I can cheat if I want to move stuff around. I can say it's like, oh, well, the reason it's in 2012, not 2011, is because that's when it came out for PC. And I will use that flexibility as much as I see fit. Half-Life 2, 2004. Yep, there it is. Already have it included. XCOM 2 is 2016. That doesn't sound right. Yeah, that's a reboot. We're gonna ignore it. Persona 5 Royale. Isn't this the... Or Royal, I should say. Not Royale. It doesn't have the E. But despite being an expanded version of the original game, and so ostensibly an unedited version of the game, none of its time feels like filler. Huh. You know, I haven't played the Persona series at all. However, 2022 is packed, so we're going to ignore it. Apex Legends. No, it's a Battle Royale. Sekiro 2019. We'll pencil that in. Racing Sim from 2019. Really? Cyberpunk 2077 is this high in the list. Alright, immediately. Forget its inauspicious debut. It's must play in 2025. Once the technical gremlins were under control, it was easy to see CD Projekt had done a phenomenal job of bringing to life their own twist on the Blade Runner-esque dystopian metropolis. Then, as they're wont to do, they absolutely smashed it with the DLC. Okay. So, 2020. I have nothing in 2020 right now, so... Mass Effect. Alright, again. I know that Mass Effect didn't come out in 2021. They're listing the remake, and I'm not here for it. Final Fantasy IX. Why specifically 9? Out of all the Final Fantasies, why 9? There's a brief... Is this a typo, or is Bathetic something that I don't know about? And it's a guy in a monster hat, and then you're controlling Vivi. Final Fantasy IX is the friendly one. The pantomime to FF7's tragedy. It's the PS1 era Final Fantasy that most wants you to enjoy yourself, to go on an adventure and perhaps partner up with an apron-wearing cousin of Kirby. Its amicable mood is anchored by its art direction, which I think has aged the best of any Final Fantasy. Certainly, I don't see much sense to the frequent calls for a remake. No. Elden Ring. Have it listed here. Disco Elysium. I already have that written down as well. Fallout New Vegas. The problem with pulling things like Fallout is that they're meant to be like 40+ hour games, and I'm only going to be giving these things like 1, maybe 2 streams. Witcher 3, again, like Outer Wilds. Well, I already have a lot in 2019, but I've seen a little bit of the play in this, but I've heard it's very much about not knowing what's there. So, alright, so we made it through that top 100 things. Whatever. Here's Metacritic. We can look at Metacritic later. But for now, we have also pulled up various things that have won, like, Game of the Year from various things. Now, what I would actually prefer to do is if I found this and I found all of the recommended ones, not just who won. But for now, we can go through this, see if anything in particular catches our eye. So, let's see. In 98, GoldenEye. Okay. Alright, we have Ocarina of Time, Deus Ex, Max Payne. Really? I already have Halo and Devil May Cry in 2011, but why Max Payne? Neverwinter Nights in 2002. I do have that. In fact, I think I have it... Oh no, I have Neverwinter Nights 2, I think, on disc. Let's see. Call of Duty, Half-Life, Bioshock, Arcane Asylum, alright. Portal 2, Dishonored. The Last of Us, 2013. Just writing down things to consider. Destiny, Fallout 4, Uncharted 4 in 2016. What Remains of Edith Finch in 2017. Ooh, God of War. In 2018? That's got to be the remake, right? Or no, it's not a remake, it's the newer game with the same name as the old game. We'll put it down, but again, we run into the same problem of a lot of these games are quite long, and there's no way I'm going to be able to play maybe even enough to get a good idea of them. Let's see, Outer Wilds I wrote down, Hades I wrote down, Returnal. Vampire Survivors, that's a good shout out. But it's in 2022, and 2022 is packed. Baldur's Gate 3, and then Astrobot, okay? Botanicula. I have this game. Dead Trigger. Arma, Lums. Ooh, Dex, actually. Do I have something in 14? I've got a lot in 14. Factorio, Rememoried. Samrost 3. The puzzle point-and-click adventure game. Okay. Beat Saber. That is a good shout out. I'm not going to do it, but it's something I had forgotten that was a thing that could happen. Pilgrims. 2019 is Pact. Freaks. Svoboda. Dice Awards. Alright. GoldenEye, Ocarina of Time. Diablo 2 is in 2000. What do we already have in 2000? A lot. Halo, Battlefield, COD, Half-Life 2, God of War, Gears of War, 2006. Forgot about that one. We'll put that one down. A lot of first-person shooters in the DICE Awards. Little Big Planet in 2008. I think that was a console game, wasn't it? Like, this was PlayStation only? Yeah. PS3 specific game. Uncharted 2 in 2009. 2010, Mass Effect 2. Skyrim. Oh, Journey. Isn't this a remake? Well, I thought the original Journey came out in the 90s. Oh, this has a very protracted thing for its ports. Because it was PlayStation in 2012. And then released in Windows in 2019. Interesting. See, Journey might be more in lines with what I want to do than like Dark Souls, because Dark Souls is something that you can't really do in like an hour, and then maybe Journey isn't either. But The Last of Us, I wrote that down. Dragon Age Inquisition, Fallout 4. What I need to do is I need to find more of like the indie game awards and get cut down on some of these the bigger name ones. Fallout 4, Overwatch, Untitled Goose Game. See, as we go through this, I'm thinking more and more about how I want to curate this and what kinds of games I want to choose. Because while there are some very well-known, very good games in here, like Dark Souls, amazing, like changed so much stuff, like blazed a lot of trails, genre-defining game. Maybe I want to stick to smaller, more indie stuff. Like maybe I want to do Faster Than Light instead of Dark Souls. Oh wait, maybe I want to do Faster Than Light instead of Dark Souls, and like Super Hexagon and Botanicula and Journey. Maybe I want to stick to those smaller kinds of games. Hades, it takes two, unfortunately. Takes two. This is a two-player game, not a one-player game, specifically and deliberately. Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3, and Astrobot. Alright, EGAs, let's see. Disney's Aladdin in 93. Asteroids, Pac-Man, Tron, Space Invaders. Zaxxon, Ultima. Lode Runner. I remember playing Lode Runner growing up. When did Lode Runner 2 come out? Platform, Apple II. There was more than one version of this, right? Lode Runner The Legend returns in 94. Alright, this is the one I remember playing growing up. I definitely want this on the list. God, there's so many things I want on the list. We might boot XCOM for that. Because this is my list, and it's my nostalgia. This is assuming I can find this game to download it and get it to work. Good old games. You have Lode Runner? Please say you have Lode Runner. Please say you specifically have this Lode Runner. Please have a responsive UI that does anything when I click on things. Go back. Back, I say. There it is. Okay, do you not have it for sale? Yeah? Yeah, that's the one I wanted. So, why is it showing up? Okay, alright. I need to figure out what it's doing here, like, because it's showing me games that it can't sell me, like, is this what it does for... It says owned game. Oh, I see how it is. This is, oh, I know about this game. If you already have it, I can link it so you can play it from our client, but they don't have it for sale. Alright, where to buy? Okay, Google. You can buy Lode Runner The Legend Returns digitally on platforms like Good Old Game for PC. Thanks, AI. I'm pretty sure you're fucking wrong. Because it's not showing up here. Like, yeah, this is the right game. But you're not willing to sell it to me. Is it eBay only? For PlayStation? 6 years ago on our Abandonware. Okay, so 7 years ago, someone links to my abandonware. So this might be don't go through good old games. I'll actually have to manually set up DOSBox. But I will do it. We can do that. Alright, where were we? Q*bert, classic. Street Fighter. You know what I don't have as far as genres here? I don't have any beat-em-ups. Like the old like Double Dragons and things of that nature. Let's see. So this is the Famitsu Awards, voted by Famitsu magazine readers. So this is going to prioritize the kind of people who did that, which is Japanese people playing games released in Japan. Oh look, it's all Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. Go figure. Also, what's with the 13-year gap here? Let's see. Prior to 2005, the results were published and they were answered. Dragon Quest was released in 1986, not on the PC. It was released on the Famicom. You know, for the Famitsu Awards, in the Famitsu magazine, with the Famicom. Oh, Monster Hunter in 2004, that's a good shout out. But then again, Monster Hunter is another one of those that I don't know if I can do it very well within, like, one stream. So, we'll see about that. What else here are we missing? Yeah, this is very, Monster Hunter Tri-G. Huh. Monster Hunter 4, Yokai Watch. Splatoon is a good call-out, but again, not on PC, I don't believe. Smash Brothers. Again, I don't think I can really do that with the stream format we're going for, but it's an excellent call-out. I remember playing that as a... That's definitely a bro game. I remember playing that a lot in college. Not because I was super into it, but because several of my suite mates were into it. I say suite mates, not roommates and all, because the way that the housing was set up in my college, or at least for that year in college, because the different dorms had different setups, is you had a suite, which had like a shared bathroom. So like, you have the bathroom, which was shared, and you had like the shower and like 2 or 3 toilets. And that was shared between 4 different rooms, and each room had 2 people in it. So it was actually, I think, a really good setup for socializing, because you had like just this group of 8 dudes together. And so it's like, okay, well, one of the rooms had a GameCube, so you'd be like, oh, well, we're playing Smash. And if you wanted to play Smash, you could just yell. And because we're not talking like an apartment, there's like stairwells between things. No, we're talking like there is a hallway that is like 10 feet long, and at one end is the bathroom, and there are 4 doors off of it to the rooms. It is all very compact. You can all hear each other. So I have good memories of Smash Brothers. Not that I was ever good at it. I was always very bad because I never played much, but it was a fun time. Let's see, the Game Awards, which used to be the Spike Video Game Awards. See, this is where I wish I could see not just the winners, but the nominees, because I'm trying to get a good lay of the land of what was going on, and just who paid the most with their advertising campaign and or won is not necessarily that. That said, a lot of these are already on my list. So, Expedition 33... heard very good things, and we don't have anything really for 2025. Expedition 33. And of course this one, well, nothing's really come out yet, so we'll fill that in later. Game Developers' Choice Awards. Let's see. Sims, GTA, Metroid Prime. But this was not PC, so I don't have the hardware for it. I mean, I could emulate, obviously, but we're not gonna. KOTOR, I think I have KOTOR listed down, yeah. Shadow of the Colossus. I think this was a PS2 exclusive. Half-Life 2, Gears of War, Portal, Fallout, Uncharted 2 I've got written down. Red Dead Redemption we've got written down. Journey, Last of Us. Oh, Middle-earth, Shadows of Mordor. 2014. I've got a lot in 2014 already, so we don't need to add that one. Witcher 3, Overwatch. Overwatch no longer exists. There is no Overwatch. There is only Overwatch 2 now. Let's see. God of War, Untitled Goose Game, Inscription. It's so well received, and I just did not think the game design was good, as far as the game mechanics are concerned. The overall game design for the mood and the vibe, or however you want to phrase that, and the setting, excellent, super well done. The actual deck building mechanic, not a fan of, mostly of how they did the resource system. It's incredibly volatile. You either win hard or you get behind and you never catch up. Let's see, Baldur's Gate 3 and Balatro. Ooh. Forgot about Balatro. Speaking of games I play all the time and things like that, what year did Slay the Spire come out? Oh, 2019. Yeah, no, too much competition. Gauntlet came out in, oh, but this was a... This was arcade, right? Yeah. The problem is we don't have really anything in 86 except if we want to do King's Quest 3 or Might and Magic 1, which wouldn't be the worst thing. But 86 has been a little slim. Outrun racing game, okay. Interesting how they broke it down to 8-bit versus 16-bit. Consoles. Thunderblade, The Untouchables, Kick Off, and Rick Dangerous. See, this is more what I was hoping for. Like, this is some stuff I haven't even heard of. I was hoping to look at some of this. Oh, we got Mega Man, John Madden Football. A lot of these are, of course, arcade or consoles, which, of course, I don't have hardware for. But still... Super Mario All-Star, Mario 64, Grand Theft Auto, Doom 3 getting the shout out. All this stuff is pretty much the same. Oh, Fortnite shows up in this one. That one didn't get any good stuff before. And Black Myth Wukong. Alright, so we're back to Japan. Sakura Wars. Interesting. What was the platform? Arcade, Dreamcast. Okay. Steampunk media franchise. Depicts groups of women with magical abilities using steam-powered mecha to combat demonic threats. I think there was an anime for this at some point, too. Unfortunately, 96 is pretty stacked, but... I'd like to have a lot more niche stuff in here. Like, we want to hit the really big, impactful stuff, like Doom, SimCity, Diablo, Half-Life. Like, all of these are just pillars of gaming development. But I also want to fill in a lot of smaller stuff too, so which is why we're going over this, because I could have just gone with the other lists and I'll play all the big name stuff all the time, like your Morrowinds and whatnot, but I really want more of the other stuff too. Let's see. Wii Fit, Monster Hunter, Mario Kart, Metal Gear Solid. I need to probably see. The problem is a lot of the big, really critically regarded things are bigger like RPGs. And okay, and I don't know if that's gonna be good enough, or that we're gonna be able to give them their proper credit. What is Gravity Rush? Well, for one, it's in 2012. What's it competing with? A lot. It's competing with a lot. Gravity Rush. PlayStation only. Splatoon, Monster Hunter Smash, Ghosts of Tsukushima. No, why did I add a coup? Ghosts of Tsushima, Monster Hunter Rise, Elden Ring, expansion to Monster Hunter Rise, Metaphor ReFantazio. Really? This is a PlayStation title? Oh, cross-platform. It's set in the United Kingdom under Uchronia, a medieval fantasy realm mirroring the contemporary real world. So, what? Really? Neat. I'm going to write it down just to look at it. Also, we don't have much in 2024, so... Fantasia with a Z. I don't know why I added an E to Metaphor. Okay, I'm going to close that. New York Game Awards. Again, this is going to give us all more recent stuff. Walking Dead is super narrative driven. Doing it for one stream is not going to be useful. Yeah. Psychonauts 2, that's a good shout out. In 21? How do they spell Psychonauts? P-S-Y-C-H-O and A-U-T-S. As soon as I typed the O, I knew I was wrong. Spike Video Game Awards. Anything here that looks unfamiliar? No. All these tend to look very samey because a lot of the good stuff that comes out is everyone kind of sees it as good. NBA Jam is a Nintendo title, I believe, though. Donkey Kong, again, another console title. I think these are all console titles. Papers, Please. I wrote that down. Yes? Yes. Dishonored, Overwatch. Celeste. Ooh, Celeste is an excellent one. How did I not catch that? Control. Hades. Psychonauts 2. Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate. Okay. Destructoid. Again, we're at much more recent, only going back to 2007. I said 20-something, it's just like, no. It's still 2000. It's not 2010 yet. Alright, Left 4 Dead, Portal, Bayonetta 2. Ooh. 2014 is too packed, though. We're just going to delete FNAF. Bloodborne, Overwatch. Chicory, A Colorful Tale. What is this? It's in 2021, so it's got some steep competition, but we'll see. Where characters are small anthropomorphic animals. Player does not choose a favorite food. Huh. I'm gonna write that down. This looks really cool. Easy Allied. Alright, this is very recent. Returnal. Wait, I already have this open in another tab that I was going to look at and then didn't. Platforms PS5 and Windows. Oh, this is a very recent. Yeah, 2023. Or 2021, depending on if I want to go original release date or the port date. Third-person shooter. It follows Celine Vassos, an astronaut who lands on the planet Atropos in search of the mysterious White Shadow signal and finds himself trapped in a time loop. The gameplay combines bullet hell, third-person shooter, and roguelite elements. Received generally positive reviews from critics for its visuals, combat, audio design, and technical achievements, though its difficulty and roguelite design were met with mixed opinions. Okay, let me see, 2023. Just make that note there. And let's see, Elden Ring, Blatro, yada yada. Gran Turismo, seeing a racing game get a shout out, that's new. Dishonored, Bayonetta, Bloodborne. The Last Guardian, oh right, this was a PlayStation game, I think. Yeah, PS4 exclusive. Let's see, Outer Wilds. No one in 2020 gets it. Which is weird. Because 2020 was a huge year for gaming. Because it was a shit year for everything else. Because this was a COVID year. Like, in fact, the most COVID of COVID years. Because despite COVID-19, so named not because it was the 19th COVID, but because it was the one that they discovered in 2019, the end of 2019. 2020 was the everyone's locked at home year. So, what is Deathloop? Elden Ring Immortality, interactive film? Probably not. We'll look at it though. Double Dragon. This was a NES title, I think, right? No, arcade title. My mistake. Hello, Need More Chai. Welcome in. Do you have a lot of recommendations for the for this schedule for going through the history of gaming? We have a lot of things written down. We're not going to get to everything here, but we have a lot of stuff. Most notably, we don't have primary stuff that we're looking for 86, which is potentially problematic since that's next week. We can't just do King's Quest and Magic, which is fine. But yes, we've got a lot to sort through. I feel like I'm going to end up kicking off. I have no knowledge of retro games. Your retro is Super Mario 64 and Pokemon Yellow Gold, both of which are not on PC. So unfortunately, they cannot make the list, as I'm not going to be emulating for this. Yeah, I don't know about an interactive film. Ghouls and Ghosts. We've got Space in 89, maybe. Which platform is this on? Arcade, right, yes. It is a sequel to Ghosts and Goblins. Versions. Nope. No versions available for me. Strider? Hack and slash? Platformer? Yeah, so these are all arcade titles. Release to arcade. Oh, it did come out in 89 on PC. Hack and slash platform game. Interesting. I mean, I will say it doesn't need to be retro. It is a full past 40 years of games, which does include, you know, the most recent 5 years. So they don't all need to be old. But we're going through a lot of award winners that we've added to the list. But I feel like I'm going to take a decent number of the big names off, mostly due to logistical reasons. Like, because if these games are only getting like 1 or 2 streams, a lot of these like big story-based RPG things are just like, they're not very good stream games for only 1 stream. So Street Fighter, Samurai Showdown. In 93. 93 is already too packed, though. I don't know if we're going to have space in 93. Donkey Kong, Twisted Metal. Ooh, this was a PlayStation game. Yeah. Super Mario 64, there's that. Soul Calibur is a fighting game. Oh, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Okay. Alright. It's a 2000. 2000 is so packed. But I feel like I should put a Tony Hawk on somewhere. If for no other reason than, like, the genre is not represented anywhere else on my list. And it doesn't have that problem I just talked about with all these big story-based games. It's like, nah, we're going to go around and we're going to do tricks. That's what we're going to do. Twisted Metal did come out on... did come out on Windows in Japan in 96. 96 is too packed already. We can skip Twisted Metal. Mario 64, Soul Calibur, Halo, Metroid. We have Prince of Persia here, right? Yes, good. Red Dead Redemption. Yes, things like Skyrim and Red Dead Redemption, while undoubtedly good games, because of the format I'm going for here, I'm not going to get them the time they deserve, since they're only going to get like 1, maybe 2 streams. I'd much rather go for something like a Tony Hawk, where you can show a lot of the gameplay experience within that time window. Let's see, we've looked at all those. Yeah, all of these we've looked at already. Wii Fit. Well, we do not have a Wii, and we will not be getting Fit. Oh, what is this? Inside, a puzzle platform horror game. What is it competing with in the 2016 slot? A lot. It's competing with a lot. It's just like, we've got House of the Dying Sun, we've got Dishonored 2. But we'll get to that in a second. Eurogamer. Alright, we got Unreal Tournament, Deus Ex. Ico. I forgot about Ico. What is it competing with in 2022? Neverwinter Nights, Morrowind, and Divine Divinity. Now, you might think, oh, that's a lot to compete against. Except, those all have that problem of they're super long games. So if Ico is something I can do in a little bit shorter, that's to its advantage. But we are coming up on our hourly little break. So we're gonna run the ads that Twitch heavily encourages us to run, which is a minimum of 3 per hour, or 3 minutes per hour. And we like to take this to have an after these messages we'll be right back moment where we take good care of ourselves, and we encourage you to take good care of ourselves. And that means standing up and moving and not staring at screens for a little bit. So I'll see you in 3. And we have returned. Hope everyone had a good break. We are back, and we're still trying to figure out what to go where. So, I did notice... Oh, Fez. Or Fez... Yeah, no... I'm gonna add it here, but that's a lot of competition in 2012. Bloodborne, Overwatch, blah 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 blah, Tetris Effect, no Outer Worlds. Unpacking. 2021. 2021 is way too... And I'll add it here just in case. Because there's a good chance at this stage of planning that it's possible that I can't find one of these games, or I can't get it to work with stream, or something of that nature. So even though, in the end, I'm probably going to be down to only 2 games per year, there's no reason to limit myself to only 2 games per year right now. Cocoon. Third-person puzzle video game. Neat. It's in 2023. Blueprints we already have written down. Game Informer goes back a decent way. We're hitting a lot of console games, though. Yeah, Tony Hawk and Tony Hawk again. Metal Gear Solid, Halo, Resident Evil, Bioshock, all big names, all names that we've seen before, so we can just kind of skip by them. Diablo is on the list. Total Annihilation, Grim Fandango in 98. 98's got too much stuff in it. Sorry, Grim Fandango. Where are we? EverQuest, Sims, Serious Sam. Oh, is it bedtime? Okay. There we go. She's all tucked in. So, where were we? Oh, yes. Serious Sam is 2001, which is not actually super packed. So, let me see if I remember Serious Sam. Wait, it's first person? I thought it was... For some reason, I thought Serious Sam was a 2D, like, side-scroller. Okay. We'll give it a... We've got a long way to go before 2001. So we'll just note that down just in case. And then we got Metroid stuff, we got WoW, we got all stuff that we already have looked at or written down because we've looked at a lot of awards shows and a lot of the awards went to the same things across different people voting. Go figure. Civilization is a unusual shout out. Not many people went for the Civilization. Let's see. Portal 2, Titanfall 2, Control, Hades, Deathloop. Okay. Ooh, okay, now we're at older stuff. Darius and Gradius. Assuming I can find them, so Gradius 2. Tetris, Final Fight. Let's see, that's 1990. It's got Secret of Monkey Island to go up against, but it's fine. Summer Showdown, King of Fighters, Virtua Fighter, Vampire Savior, or Darkstalkers 3, which is a fighting game. Interesting. Gamist appears to be a heavily fighting-dominated sort of platform, or voting block. Game trailers, alright, yeah. Giant Bomb. Has PUBG in here, which is new. They also have Prince of Persia for 2024. What's Crackdown? For 2007. Bioshock and Mass Effect and Portal are all here, but maybe we can go with something else. Deathloop. Samurai Showdown was, yeah, it was an arcade thing, so we're not gonna have that. Inside platforms, all of them. 2016. Puzzle platform horror game. Oh, it's a kind of a sequel to Limbo? Interesting. I'm gonna write it down. Ico was 2001. 2002? Ah. Didn't make it to the EU until 2002. I consider those flexible. Because it came out in different locales. What is the genre of this? Action adventure? That's such a broad category, though. Wordle got Game of the Year in 2022. I can see why. We're not gonna play a whole stream of Wordle, obviously, but as far as, we'll say, societal impact, Wordle was definitely up there. Hardcore Gamer, Far Cry, Last of Us, Tales from the Borderlands, interesting. Owlboy. What is this? It's a platform adventure. Met with generally favorable reviews. Metroidvania style gameplay. Okay. Sure, we'll add it to the list in... Wait, what year was that again? 2016. This is gonna have to end up being like a... Not on stream necessarily, but like a weekly thing or a monthly thing as I go through and try to locate the following games. What I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna go back to this list and I'm gonna go to Steam or Good Old Games or wherever I can, and I'm going to wish list a lot of these games and see if they go on sale, for one, because a lot of stuff I already grabbed on sale. And Steam's winter sales are still live for another like day or two, so we might grab a decent chunk of these there. We grabbed a lot of them from Good Old Games already, or at least the ones we didn't already have. Let's see, Alan Wake, Ratchet and Clank, Ghosts of Tsushima, Halo, Half-Life, God of War, Okami. The problem with Okami, despite it being, by all accounts, a very good game, is it is apparently a very slow game, and not even just like, oh, this is a nice, calm, slow-paced game. Like, it is a game that drags. But I'm gonna add it to the list anyway. Super Mario Galaxy, Fallout. Okay, anything here that we haven't seen in other lists so far? Forza didn't make the other lists. Let's see. Anything here? No, all that stuff we've seen before. Spelunky we already have on our list. Into the Breach. It's by the same studio that did Faster Than Light. 2018. Too much competition, though, for me to want to add it. Valheim, no. Death Stranding. That's another one that I feel like is... It's for a very specific kind of person. Like, and I believe this is also very slow, we'll say, which is not bad for a game in general, but for a game that you're only giving, 4 to 6 hours, it's harder. Let's see, critics praised its voice acting, soundtrack, and visuals, with more mixed opinions regarding its gameplay and story. Refers to it as the first Strand game, because of course Kojima would say, "It's my genre, I made it." An original genre characterized by the game's incorporation of social elements. Kojima compared this genre to how his earlier game, Metal Gear, now considered a stealth game, was called an action game during its release because the stealth genre had not been established. Yeah, we're just going to ignore that. Let's see, Polygon, again, doesn't go far enough back for some things, but... Her story, alright, interactive movie. Doom, Outer Wilds, Hades Inscription, blah blah blah. Fable, interesting shout out there. Haven't seen Fable on many of these lists. Alien Isolation, again. Didn't get as many shout outs. What do we got for 2014? We got a lot for 2014 that I'd put over that, so we're not going to bother writing it down. Wii Sports, Alan Wake, 2010. I don't have almost anything in 2010. But Alan Wake is pretty slow, I think. We'll see. We'll write it down just in case, because there's not that much competition for that slot. Okay. 2020 is Hades, 2021 is Hades. Hades, when did you come out? This is probably a problem with it going early access and then having an official launch. Release September 17, 2020. Cool. Hades. Move to 2020. Oh, yo. Move to the left. Okay, cool. Metroid Dread. Super Mario Maker, interesting. I'm pretty sure that's dead now, right? Didn't they take the servers offline not too long ago? Let's see, Hades. Okay, cool. We have finished list of games considered the best. Yeah, no. Didn't I just... Yeah, this is the same page we were just on. Okay, so... Video games... By year. Here we go. We still have kind of a lack of 1986. But we're going to run into a certain problem here, which is there are 400-something entries here. And most of these are not good, obviously. So we're just going to kind of skim, and we're going to open a bunch of new tabs and see if we find any hidden gems. Arkanoid. Arkanoid could be interesting. I don't know if there was a PC version, because this is 1986. A lot of these are going to be arcade and console versions. The Bard's Tale 2, the Destiny Knight. Battle of the Planets. Castle Quest. Castlevania, which is unfortunately, I believe was a Nintendo title, or Famicom, as the case may be. And then we have Gauntlet 2, Gala Force and Gal Force, not to be confused with each other, obviously. Euro Racer, Equinox, Dynamite Hand Druid, the video game. I understand that what I'm doing right now is essentially an even less informed version of just like browsing games at the game store, just seeing the boxes and picking one. Fortunately for me, we have more information in the tabs that we open, so we'll look at that in a minute. Habitat, video game. Highlander video game. What I'm actually hoping for is something that I recognize, potentially something that I played. Imogen. Okay. Joust 2, Survival of the Fittest. That's Dread, Kane. The Karate Kid video game. Kid Icarus, which I believe, like, most of these are going to be disqualified just by their platform, but King's Quest 3, that's always a doable one. Labyrinth, the computer game. Probably awful, but we'll see. Hold on a sec. Leather Goddesses of Phobos. Followed by Legend of the Amazon Women. I see you. I see you, 1986. I understand what you were going for. Let's see. Lords of Conquest. The thing is, even if I find something I want, I don't know if I would be able to find it. Because these are 40-year-old games. Like, Good Old Games might have it, some abandonware sites might have it, but there's a good chance that some of this stuff is lost media. Nuclear Nick? Number Munchers? Are we going for edutainment? Ogre video game. Orb Quest, the search for 7 wards. Let's see, Panther, Parallax, Patton versus Rommel. Pilgrim video game. A terrifying new text adventure for the Commodore 64. Hilt figure. Portal, not that Portal. The other Portal. The 1986 Portal. Let's see. SDI video game. Sapiens. Wait, I think I might have played this forever ago. Like, at some point in college where I, like, downloaded some tiny zip file of, like, 100 old games. I think this might be one that I saw. Let's see. Trojan, Trinity, The Trapdoor. Let's see, what else do we have? Tokaido Goju Sansugi. Okay. Top Gun. Which I believe I played this game on the NES. I don't remember it being super good. Ooh, Super Pitfall. Again, probably also NES. The Stalingrad campaign, of course. Starflight, Starglider. Stratomatic Computer Baseball. Space Hunter, Space Max, Space Quest 1. Solomon's Key. I thought I had a book by that name. Twister, the video game. Ultima 1. Really? In 86? Huh. I didn't think that was on that date. Oh well, let's see. Yoljuden? Azoids? Okay. Man, I haven't thought about Zoids in a while. Warhawk, Warship, Way of the Tiger. Where in the USA is Carmen Sandiego? Yes, that one. This is one I actually played growing up. So if we can find that one, we're definitely doing that one. I remember Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? We had a poster. And I don't remember if the poster came with the game or it was separate and we were just using it to help with the game. But one of the hints that you would get in the basic gameplay loop of the Where in the whatever it is Carmen Sandiego is you go to a place and you're trying to basically track down the person you're following and see who they are. So you'll talk to people at the places just like, oh yeah, I remember them. They had a lot of piercings. And they left in a plane flying a red, white, and green flag. So it's like, okay, so you go to your dossiers, you say, okay, they had a lot of piercings, alright, so you do a who's who and be like, okay, or guess who, rather, and be like, okay, so not them, yes, it's probably them. And then you look at your map, and your map would show you, I think it was like 4 different places you could go to. So you like, okay, that's the city name, so this is the country, and you look up the country on the flag map. It's like, all right, what does their flag look like? And you go to the flag, and it's like, okay, there, red, white, and green. We're going to that country. So if I can find that, we're definitely playing that. We had a lot of stuff from Borderbund. I want to look at their catalog for other stuff I might have missed. History, acquisition, products. Just before being acquired by the Learning Company, former Softkey. Okay. Was an American maker of video games and productivity tools, best known for the 8-bit video game hits Choplifter, Lode Runner, Karateka, and Prince of Persia. Mavis Beacon teaches typing, the Live in Book series, the Reader Rabbit titles. Do you have a list of, like a separate list of titles? Here we go. This is incomplete. Definitely incomplete. 3DO, but 3DO was also a publishing company or a developer. They did the Heroes of Might and Magic stuff. Notable series: Carmen Sandiego, Kid Pix, Living Books. List of video games: A.E. Earhart, The Ancient Report, Apple Panic, Capitalism Plus. I remember that one. Deadly Towers, Galactic Empire. A lot of stuff in here I don't recognize. Logical Journey of the Zoombinis. Where we first learn to cheese probability mechanics. Star Wars, which was a rail shooter in '83. Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego was '85. Where in North Dakota is Carmen Sandiego? That's highly specific. That's incredibly specific. How many people want to know that much about North Dakota? The only entry in the Carmen Sandiego series designed to teach facts about a single US state. I wonder if they had a plan to, like, make a whole series of it. In any case, this came out. Okay, you need to go back down to this, go to default font, stop being bold, stop being italicized, and reset colors. Thank you. Sorry. You can go back to being the same color as everything else. No? The same color as everything else. Thank you. This was in 96. Can I work that in? Now, here's the question that we have to start asking ourselves. Like, who are we doing this for? Like, if I was explicitly doing this for optimal stream content, would I be better off streaming the original Resident Evil, the original Diablo, or Logical Journey of the Zoombinis? That probably no one has ever heard of before. Or at least not unless you're super old like me and you played it as a child. Got any other 1986s? Earhart, Deadly Towers, action role-playing game, NES, okay. The Toy Ship, and Type. Neat. Latest release of Carmen Sandiego 2025. Alright, so originally Where in the World, 85 and then 96. And then USA, 86 and then 96, I guess that was the remake. Time, we're in Europe, 88. We're in North Dakota, and then Time. We had Time as well, 1989. Carmen Sandiego in Japan. We're in America's Past, so Time plus America. We're in Space in 93. Okay, Math Detective, 1998. Okay. Released in 2011, 2012 for the Wii. Man, I have been, ever since I stopped being a child and didn't have children, I'm just completely out of the loop on the edutainment industry. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego's luggage? Okay. Just straight up titled Carmen Sandiego 2025. The game was released initially on Netflix before being distributed on Steam. What do you mean released on Netflix? I didn't even know Netflix released video games. The story and visuals are based on the Carmen Sandiego Netflix series. Okay, alright. Excellence in mobile. Alright, yeah, mobile game. Where on the web is Carmen Sandiego? Neat. Any other years that we're, like, desperately short on? Like, we don't have a lot for 1988. The Battle of Olympus. The Dark Heart of Ukrul. Guardian Legend. Sky Chase. Typhoon Thompson. Neat. Excuse me. We have hiccups, apparently. A port for the Game Boy was released. Alright, so what is it? So it's a Zelda clone? Primarily a side-scroller with some light platforming. The player is a hero with a sword and shield, while just a handful of secondary items come along. The biggest differences in combat from Zelda 2 are the lack of the downward stab in midair and the lack of the sword beam at full health. Huh. Alright, so it's similar to Zelda 2, which everyone knows was the best Zelda. I'm just gonna skip that one. We can close that one now. We're gonna leave that open for now. Zoids, the battle begins. Platforms. C64. Based on the Zoids toy series. I don't even know where I would find this sort of thing. Nope. Alright, so we're just going to close that. Solomon's Key. Looks like a puzzle game? Let's see. Ported to multiple systems, including the NES and Commodore 64. Solomon. Nope. Good Old Games doesn't have it, so I'd have to try to find it from Abandonware. Let's see. No, we're not going to bother with it. Space Quest 1. Released 1986. That one we can easily grab. Super Pitfall, yeah. Not pinball. Stop with your fuzzy search results. I said pitfall, not pinball. Yeah, Super Pitfall was worse than the original Pitfall. I think. I don't know. I played a decent amount as a kid. Never really got anywhere with it. Okay, it didn't come up at the top, so that pretty much guarantees that it's not here. It's just showing me everything that has gun in the name. For the NES game, alright, what is this one? Commodore 64, I see. Sapiens is an action-adventure and text-based game. Sapiens received immediate critical and popular success, although information about the foreign sales is scarce. After being translated to English, it was exported to the USA. Interesting. We might look into this. This was 86? Okay, so... we're going to leave that tab open just in case. Ogre is a... based on the Ogre board war game. Oh boy. Number Munchers. Spin-off of Word Munchers. Who wants to learn math on stream? So, designed by the same person who did Oregon Trail. Excuse me. Designed for school and home use for grades 4 to 8, where it's parental-controlled options that set the difficulty level. Okay, you know what? We're gonna add this to the list, just for the lols. This, of course, requires that we find a working copy, which is potentially problematic. Lords of Conquest. Riveting. I think... no, it must be another Lords of something or other. There's a lot of Lords of this, that, and the other. Leather Goddesses of Phobos is an interactive fiction video game. The game was Infocom's first sex farce, including selectable gender and naughtiness, the latter ranging from tame to lewd. It was one of 5 top-selling Infocom titles to be released in solid gold versions. Infocom's 21st game. The Goddesses of Phobos for difficulty rating of standard. Alright, so what is the gameplay, though? Like, I get that the setting is a sex farce. It's presented in the manner of a science fiction serial of the time. In the story, the leather goddesses of Phobos are just finalizing their plans for the invasion of Earth. The player's characters has been abducted by the leather goddesses for the final testing of the plan, which would enslave all of humanity unless the player's plan is stopped. Okay, so what is the gameplay? It was their best-selling game? Okay. Alright. This is not something that I would Google on stream, but good old games. Don't screw me over here. I type in leather, and the first hit is Forgive Me, Father 2. Mm-hmm. I could have sworn that they had this game. It must be just a similarly named game that is similarly, like, looks sketchy as hell. Showing 31 games. My Life as a Cult Leader, unrated? No. Cultist Simulator? Yeah, that's not. Okay, Labyrinth, the computer game. There's a text-based adventure thing. Goblin Guard corners the player. The word wheels and gray radar bar appear at the bottom of the screen. On the wheels, the player has to combine the verb ask with the noun wall. Okay, I see how it is. Interesting. Probably not. Kid Icarus, which was on the platform NES, Game Boy Advance, 3DS, and Famicom Disk System, none of which are PC. Imagem. Plays the role of a wizard who, according to the backstory, lost his mind and forgot his identity as a result of transforming himself into a dragon to save his town from another dragon. Interesting. So it's a puzzle game. Let us look for it. I don't expect to find a lot of these. Like, once you get back into... Wait, was that M or N? N. Once you get back into the 80s, stuff gets significantly harder to locate. Habitat is an MMO developed by Lucas... Wait, what year? Initially created in 1985. So it was a MUD. As a graphical MUD, it is considered a forerunner to modern MMORPGs. So it had graphics instead of just being a MUD? Neat. We're learning things. Gauntlet 2. Four character classes to play as. Okay, yeah. So it is what I expected. It is... Gauntlet Slayer Edition. Heroes of Loot Gauntlet of Power. This can't be like the original Gauntlet. No, it's got like the classes here. Is it the classic 4-player co-op? Yeah, it's like a remake, and it's a poorly reviewed one at that. Disappointment in every way possible. Major drawback, no LAN support. This game only supports offline play as solo, offline play with friends on a couch with controllers, and then online with 1 copy purchased for each GOG account. It doesn't have LAN support. All multiplayer modes require GOG Galaxy DRM. I see. So some of the review bombing is because of the lack of LAN support. But given the type of game it is, I can definitely see why that would be considered a major drawback, especially if they said no DRM. But GOG's no DRM thing is usually just as little DRM as possible. For example, especially for multiplayer games, DRM often makes its way back in. It's just like, no DRM. But if you want to play online, you do have to go through the publisher's servers. So there is that DRM. And of course, there's Castlevania, which it made its way to MS-DOS? Castlevania 1990? No. No, 1986. This isn't... See, I didn't even know this... We'll call it a feature of the Good Old Games client, is that you can like mark as owned and like link the executable, and you can just run stuff from here. So it's a way to keep your catalog all in one place, even if they don't sell you the game. If like you still had the old discs, that's pretty cool. Bard's Tale. I'm pretty sure they only have the remake. Yeah, because Bard's Tale is definitely not 2004. Yeah, see, so you can see that the prices are next to the ones they have, and the others are not. I don't care about Bard's Tale enough. I don't have the nostalgia for it to want to hunt for it. Arkanoid. Oh wait, this is one that I specifically played. Don't suppose you have this one. Nope. Arkanoid Eternal Battle in 2022. No, the whole point of playing it would be to play the old one. Deep Dungeon. For the Armenian monastery, Khor Virap. Okay. We're just gonna not look at that, because it's one thing to find old games in English. It's quite another to find old games that were primarily released in a different country. Defender of the Crown. Strategy. 86. Okay. This looks very much like the Castles series. But maybe that's just the font. yet another one that's not really available. Okay. Well, I'm probably gonna see if I can find some of these on an abandonware site. But yeah, we will update the list in Discord, where we have it in the stream suggestions channel. And I will see what I can do about figuring out the 1986 ones, because that will be this upcoming week. And I should have a schedule up tomorrow. Granted, so far, I have been streaming 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I think next year I am going to get less regular. Not that I'm going to stream less, not that I'm going to stream fewer days, but it might not always be the same days of the week. I'm looking to leave the house more, and I don't want streaming to be an excuse for me to stay home if there is something I want to go to on a Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday. So, going forward, the plan will be that we will look at our plan for the week, look at our social plan for the week, and then pick which days that week we are streaming. So, we should be doing that a week-ish in advance. I will be posting the schedules to Discord. I will also be updating... the one that is currently there is out of date, but there is a feature in Twitch where if I'm offline, it'll like show the offline screen, which includes the schedule. And it is currently inaccurate. I will work on getting those updated tomorrow for the upcoming weeks, and hopefully we will continue doing that going forward in 2026. That said, I think we've dug through enough lists tonight that we have most of these with more than we need. Some of them are a little scant. Particularly, it appears that 2005 we didn't really find anything. We probably want more stuff for 2010. Probably want different stuff for 2015. Really anything that only has 2, especially if it's longer games like Undertale or other things of that nature. So, yeah, we are going to see what we can see. You need to go get in line with everything else. Thank you. There we go. So, yeah, this is the current setup, and we'll see what we can do. It's looking to be a busy 2026. So, as I said, because we started late, it is a shorter stream today. So, we're going to stop after just over 3 hours. Again, if there's anyone here, thanks for sitting through this non-gaming stream as we dig into a bunch of older games, newer games, well-regarded games, to try to figure out what our schedule is going to be for 2026. So, for anyone who is here, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. If you would like to be notified when some of this stuff actually goes live, you can, of course, click the buttons on your platform of choice, the follow, the subscribe, and all of that. If not, that's fine too. I just appreciate you being here. So, with that said, thank you very much.